This video is your go-to guide for Amazon Vine. Vine is Amazon's review program for new products or products that have less than 30 reviews. You can enroll your products and get 30 reviews within a matter of weeks that are verified and allowed by Amazon. And I'm going to cover everything related to Vine, everything you need to know about Vine. My name is Manoli from Your AMZ. We've helped over 50 multi-million-dollar brands grow on Amazon. So what is the Amazon Vine program? It is one of the fastest ways to get initial reviews. You essentially enroll products that have FBA inventory, and you will get reviews from Vine Voices. These are reviewers that Amazon hand selects for having a history of leaving detailed, thoughtful, and helpful reviews rated by Amazon shoppers. And it's the fastest, safest, and most effective way to get initial reviews on your products. It's way faster than waiting for organic reviews, and it's much safer than asking friends and family due to the fact that Amazon looks at your order to review ratio and also the IP addresses of where reviews are coming from to make sure that, people leaving reviews do not share a house with an employee or have not shared Wi-Fi with an employee in the past. So let's talk about Vine eligibility. How do you become eligible for Amazon Vine? So your account needs to be enrolled in Amazon Brand Registry. The ASIN, or the product listing, needs to have less than 30 reviews. You need to have an FBA offer with available inventory that you can enroll. You need to have an active ASIN with a title, description, and main image live on the listing. And it needs to be an eligible product type. So adult products, digital items, and virtual bundles are not eligible for Vine enrollment. Now let's talk about enrollment details. So first, you're going to enroll a specific ASIN that you choose. It has to meet the eligibility we just talked about. You can enroll up to 30 units of that ASIN, so as little as 1 unit and as many as 30 units. You select what variations you want to include. If it's a parent listing that has multiple variations, you can have all of them included, or you can make shoppers select from just one or a few, depending on what you select. Vine Voices can go into their platform and claim whatever products they want. And then once they claim that product, units will be delivered to the Vine Voice from your FBA inventory. Now, looking at selecting variations, this is sort of what the page will look like. You can click into edit variations and select what items they can choose from. This will still be a total of 30 units. So if you allow 2 available, like we see here, it's possible that every Vine Voice claims one of the 2, or it could be 15 and 15, but total it will still add up to 30 units that are eligible to be claimed. Looking at the enrollment fees, it is a one-time enrollment fee depending on how many units you enroll. So it's tiered. So if you enroll 1 to 2 units, there's no fee, just the cost of goods sold. 3 to 10 units, it's a one-time fee of $75, and then 11 to 30 units, it's a one-time fee of $200. Just a note here that when you're thinking about the total cost of using Vine, you will have the enrollment fee, but also remember to factor in your cost of goods sold. So if you enroll 30 units, you're going to have a $200 enrollment fee plus the cost of goods sold on the 30 units that you enroll. And it's possible that maybe 28 or 29 actually claim units. So just because you enroll 30 units doesn't mean that is necessarily going to end up being a cost. So you just have to see how many units get claimed. Billing. So we have this enrollment fee. When does this get billed? The enrollment fee is automatically billed to your account when the first Vine review is posted to your listing. So if it takes a few weeks for customers to first receive the product, test it, and then leave a review, you will be billed, I believe, 7 days after that first review is actually on your listing automatically to your account. So who writes Vine reviews? So we talked about Vine Voices who are chosen by Amazon, but it's not that Amazon randomly sends the product to any Vine Voice in the program. Vine Voices are chosen by Amazon, and then they have access to a platform where they can see what products have been enrolled by sellers and choose the products that they are interested in. So any enrolled ASIN is first come, first serve, right? So it could be a $400 kitchen appliance. It's first come, first serve. They're going to get a free product, and they don't have to leave a review, but I believe there is some sort of punishment or strike system if they don't leave reviews. So we'll get to that, what to expect when it comes to reviews. But again, last point here, you have no say in who claims your product. Vine voices are chosen by Amazon, and they have access to any product that is enrolled, and they can claim that product. What should you expect when it comes to results with reviews? So there's review count, how many you're going to get, and then also the review score. So if you enroll, let's say 30 units, which you don't have to, but if you enroll the maximum, it actually doesn't matter. We do tend to see 85% of claimed units end up getting reviews. So if you enroll 30 and 30 are claimed, the full 30 are claimed, we tend to see 25 to 28 reviews. Here we're just saying roughly 25 reviews to be conservative, but expect 85 to 90% of the claim units to end up being reviews. And then as far as review score, assuming there's no major issues with your product, you have product market fit, customers like what they get, you won't necessarily get all 5-star reviews. A good above average experience is a 50-50 split between 4 and 5 stars. These reviewers have been chosen by Amazon for being slightly critical, so they do tend to like to have a 4-star review to seem honest, but you will get obviously plenty of 5-star reviews if your product meets expectations. So a good outcome for 30 units enrolled, 30 units claimed is getting about 26 reviews and a 4.5 star average. And this is an actual example of real results with a brand we worked with. As you can see, 30 enrolled, 30 claimed, 28 reviews, 30 claimed, 30 enrolled, 27. Here it was 30 enrolled, only 28 claimed. We actually got the full 28 reviews. And here it was 30 claimed of 30, 28 reviews. So 25 to 28 reviews. Most of the time you'll get all 30 claimed, but if it's more of a niche product, you might not get the full 30 units claimed. Timing. So let's talk about timing. Most reviews appear within 3 to 4 weeks after Vine Voices receive their product. So just because you hit enroll, there might be a lag time between when Vine reviewers actually claim the product, when FBA and Amazon ships the product, and when they receive it. So if your inventory is already in FBA and the units are claimed very quickly, probably customers are going to receive this within 3 to 4 days. And so, yeah, most of your reviews, I'd say 80 to 90% of the reviews you get will appear on your listing within 3 to 4 weeks. And then the last 10 to 15% of reviews will come in around weeks 5, 6, maybe 7. Is Vine worth it? So for most brands, the answer is yes. It's fast, it's safe, it's effective, and increased reviews is going to increase your click-through rate, it's going to increase your conversion rate, it's going to build trust with shoppers. Now, I put here considerations for niche products. If your product is for a very specific customer who needs to understand the product, for example, we have a client who sells high-quality professional cake decorating products. The average customer, it's unlikely that you're going to have a Vine voice who is a professional cake decorator. And so they're not going to understand how to use the product. And Vine would not be a good idea in that case. So just consider, if your product is, has a learning curve and it cannot be easily understood by every customer, you might end up getting 2, 3, and 4-star reviews, and it might not be worth it. So just something to consider. And then dealing with negative reviews are a risk for Vine because you're getting honest reviews from real customers. So the way we see it is if you're launching a product, better to get that real honest feedback early on rather than find out after thousands of dollars of ad spend, where generating 30 reviews organically through ad spend could take months, if not, half a year. And so rather than spend thousands of dollars on ads to wait for those reviews to come in, if you get 3, 4, 5, negative reviews, you can address those problems up front very quickly. And you might end up with, let's say, a 4-star or a 4.1 star average instead of 4.5, but you can fix that problem immediately. So we think it's a good thing to have that honest feedback up front. And so it's worth enrolling the 30 units to get that feedback. Why is Vine so valuable? So Amazon is very strict with seeded reviews. Like we talked about earlier in the video, they actually look at your order to review ratio. So if you send your product to 15 friends and have them all order and review it, they're going to see 100% ratio between orders and reviews. And those reviews are going to be flagged as suspicious, especially if they're all 5-star reviews. Additionally, they match the IP address of who is reviewing. And if it matches up with an IP address of an employee that is shared, so Could be at the office, it could be at their house, it could be at a coffee shop. If those IP addresses have ever shared, they could also flag those reviews, and in serious situations, they could even deactivate the listing. So it's very risky to do that. And also, there's a logistical component to finding friends and family, reaching out, sending instructions, having them buy the product, sending the reviews for them to share, and then reimbursing them after the fact. So Amazon Vine, you just enroll your product. It all happens automatically. There's no effort on your part. So it's faster, and it removes the risk that we talked about, which could be, flagged reviews or flagged listing. And also, real reviews means better outcomes. So as a seller, knowing that you can't just automatically get 30 5-star reviews, you are going to be more cautious about what your listing says, about how you ship your product into FBA. And so the actual end result is a much better outcome, knowing that you're going to get real feedback from customers. So one question we've gotten from some of our clients is, well, what if my product launch gets delayed? What if I'm not ready to ship in 1,000 units when I thought I was going to? There is no deadline or expectation around when your product needs to launch from Amazon. So as long as you enroll when you have 30 units, those reviews will come in regardless of when you want to launch. So you could get 30 reviews and launch a year later, for example. If you're ready to enroll your products into Amazon Vine, I have made a step-by-step video on how to do that. I'm going to link that in the top right corner and also include it on the next page. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.